What is up, fast boys and girls? Welcome to another Super Mario Odyssey Any Percent Tournament race. Here we have Lilkirbs and Mozurkz. I'm joined by my co-commentator, Odyssey. How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Okra. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking.
Yeah,
I'm doing okay.
two very good runners. Oh, sorry, I interrupted one of them. Two very good runners. Lilkirbs, the world record holder, who recently got it, like, yesterday, I think.
Yeah, yesterday.
101.21. And Mozurkz, also not very bad at the game at all. 104.59, I think.
Not bad. He's only
not bad.
He's only top 20. It's, you know, whatever.
Yeah, no big deal.
So actually, this is a little bit interesting. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Mozurkz, you are again one of the cases, and Lilkirbs too, I guess. You know, both of you had these seeds, and then you PB'd after the tournament had started. So your seed is not necessarily indicative of where you rank on the leaderboard right now, where your skill level is. So, I mean, Curbs, you went from the number 2 seed to now you're the world record holder. And Mozurkz, you've improved a lot actually. You got the 104, right? You got the low 104 at that.
Yeah, I got the 104.16 a couple like last weekend or something.
Yeah, that's a pretty big milestone. How much further do you think you're gonna go? I'm curious.
I'm gonna at least try and push for top 10 or 102.
Oh, jeez.
But I don't know. We'll see. Like I'm waiting until I like really hit that wall, and I've yet to ever get there yet, where I don't feel like I can improve anymore.
Well, that's super exciting to hear that. I mean, Curbs, you're gonna have some competition, man. Right
Oh,
up
yeah.
there, right up there at the top.
That's
Coming up soon. Can't wait.
Don't worry, 103 is the big wall that you will hit. As soon as you get 103,
It really is.
it's
I-
super hard to
yeah.
PB after that.
definitely can tell that things are gonna get very strange after 103.
And just as a quick side note for those asking in chat, yes, the numbers on screen next to names in parentheses, so 2 for Lilkirbs, is their seed from the beginning of the tournament. So yes, Lilkirbs is now the world record holder, but at the start of the tournament, he was the number 2 seed. Mozurkz was 15th. These guys have improved, obviously. So I think we're gonna see a great race here. I'm super excited for it. Do you have any things, any expectations, any goals for this race that you want to share with us? I'll start with you, Mozurkz.
Yeah, I would just like to have a good run. You know, it'd be dope if I could PB or get like a 104, but obviously anything can happen.
For sure. And Curbs?
Target acquired. That's all I want.
Target acquired is the goal. All right, noted. We will look for the target acquired. All right. Just a brief recap before we let you go. The 3 capture moons in snow, the entrance to Shiveria, Seaside, the Gushing Cave, ride the jet stream, and then also in Seaside, under a dangerous ceiling with the upside down sea bacon. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. You guys are ready to get going. Whenever you want to leave the call, we'll count you down and the race going.
All right. Good luck. Have fun, Curbs.
Good luck.
Guys.
Good luck.
All right, so yeah, that is a little bit of an interesting note. Again, the runners have to take screen captures of 3 specific moons, which are randomly generated before the race. So it just so happened that the moons chosen here are 1 in snow and 2 in Seaside. So pretty late into the run. I mean, this tournament's been going on for a while now. These guys should know the drill at this point, but it's just something to keep an eye out for later on in the race. You know, half an hour in or something. So we'll get there. We'll get there.
And they are off.
We are underway. Awesome. So both of these guys are 1.0 runners. Lilkirbs is running on the physical copy of 1.0. Mozurkz is actually loading from an SD card. So load times are going to be a little bit different between these guys, but not terribly much, I'm going to say. So let's just say they're on the same version and leave it at that for now.
Yeah, one interesting thing about Lilkirbs, before he started like getting record on 1.0, he was very, very good on 1.2. I think he got a 102 until and he had like the 1.2 record before Goryuya like killed it.
Yeah. I mean, Goryuya just PB'd like 2 days ago or something. He's still alive and kicking. He's trying to push 1.2 as far as it'll possibly go. And then once he switches to 1.0, it's over, you know. So, a pretty similar movement here between our 2 runners and Cap Kingdom, both getting the first-person camera manip there to insta raise the bridge. Really nice.
Cap has been in a lot of It's not as like super improving in strats like in recent days, but it's improved a lot in the past few months. Especially that first person strat that saves a lot of time when talking about Cap Kingdom.
Yeah, you know, it's always generally the first split or splits of runs that are the most optimized, and that definitely rings true for Cap Kingdom. Every time someone's like, oh, I found this new thing that saves half a second, and then they describe to me exactly what it is, it's like, well, that's kind of silly and insane. But both these runners getting left side, which, although an old strat, still is something that can really be punishing if you miss it, so really nice to see both of them getting it. I think Lilkirbs going to do the... No, he does a pretty standard...
No spin throws here.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go for that. It's a little bit of a, you know, one of those tiny minor optimizations, but if you actually spin throw and dive, it can save just, you know, a fraction of a second, killing topper there in that second phase, but regardless, Lilkirbs.
It is very annoying, though, because sometimes you can spin throw the controller, but it doesn't up throw instead, and other motion-controlled jankiness makes that strat sometimes just not worth it.
Yeah, but when it works, though. Yeah, but so since both our runners are on 1.0, coming up here on the Cascade Kingdom, first thing straight away is first moon skip. We've seen this go incredibly well and incredibly poorly in this tournament so far. So here's hoping that we can see both of our runners have a pleasant time here, but we'll see. Lilkirbs seems to get the vault in position.
Struggling a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Incorrect cap placement there. If Cappy's in the wrong spot, you'll just kind of get a little cap bounce before you want to roll vault off of him. So
that should work.
A little bit of punishment there from Mozurkz, but it has been worse. So that was relatively quickly for getting first moon skip. I mean, compared to Lilkirbs, he got it first try, but this is the big barrier for these guys. You know, runs if they want to try to get a PB. Miss first moon skip one time, basically it's a reset. You know, that's all right. That's just the first hurdle that you have to get through. And then this boss fight's relatively trivial, but hey, you know, they're doing it pretty cleanly, collecting all those coins. They're gonna need those later. And
yeah, Cascade is one of the tougher early game like parts of any run, really, because you have now first moon skip. Previously we didn't have it, but we still had Dino Jump, which at the time before first moon skip, it wasn't really understood that well. You have to get the dino's left foot on the trampoline to get the jump. Then you also have this fight, which over time has become stupid and hard. You have to hold your cap out, backflip, and release it at the right time, or else you'll have to chase around Madame Brood and hit her from another side.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's kind of one of those things that's hard to exactly describe, but you want the chain chomp to kind of lunge at you and then capture it, so it's already a distance away from Madame Brood, and then you can just release and fling it back at her. If you capture it and it's too close to her, then before you can actually fling it back at her, you know, pull it and fling it back, she'll start chasing you around the arena, loses a buttload of time, but these guys are just too good.
Moonclip.
We're not going to see that. We are going to see Moonclip. He's out of bounds. He avoided the bonk. He got the globe. Very nice.
See if Mozurkz goes for it. It doesn't save that much time, but for early game it is worth. And he doesn't go for it, which makes sense. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
A more recent optimization that has been added. I believe Nutclip, which was discovered like way back in SGDQ, like 2 months ago.
Yeah,
almost, was the first one implemented.
Yeah, moon clipping is pretty well understood from a technical level, but from an intuitive level, it can really be confusing. Like, okay, what exactly did I do wrong there? Why didn't that clip work? There's not a lot of feedback you get as to, you know, it's just you either did the inputs right and it worked, or you messed something up slightly and it didn't, and like, what gives, man? So, you know, practicing that sort of thing can be really unforgiving and take a lot of time. So, no shame in not going for it.
Fast action guide from Curbs. Stupid
Hell
trick.
Yeah, we got a race.
Alright, Sand. Probably the most difficult kingdom in the first maybe like 15 minutes of the run, aside from Wooded, obviously, but we'll get to that later. Interesting camera, clipping through the ground.
Mozurkz also got fast action guide skip. there you go. One of those things that is probably not worth explaining because it's really technical and seems random. That saves like half a second, so menuing or text scrolling or whatever it actually happens to be, load times.
Nice pipe suck from Curbs. That one is kind of weird because you have to roll into the pipe from the top, and if you miss it, you'll most of the time you'll bonk, and you'll have to do some weird movement to get back in there.
Yeah, you can't go too far left or else you miss because of the little railing in that cage. You can't go too far right or you'll land on the upper part of that roof. So it's kind of a weird angle, plus you're doing it blind, but,
Top of the dune first try, hardest moon in the game.
Confirmed. And we're going to be coming up here on the Dram strat, as it has been dubbed.
The Dram.
Despite the actual Dram 55 not liking things being named after him, here we are.
Please come back.
Lilkirbs setting up, gets the up throw, no wall slide, looks good. And time will tell if he's able to get the capture warp. Gets it, very clean.
Not opting for the notes route, which is actually a little bit faster than getting this moon, but if he does Dram, it looks cooler. Looks like he's going for it.
Okay. He does a different
Smaller
Dram. Yeah, he does a mini Dram. Not quite as fast, maybe like half a second difference, but
Mozurkz.
Mozurkz missed the Dram strat, unfortunately. Lilkirbs did a ground pound, so I thought he was gonna try to do the standard Dram, but I guess that's just to kind of gauge how much time delay he has to wait. So he has his own setup, works for him. Mozurkz able though to get the bullet bill up here, keeps his bullet bill alive, which is really, I thought that was close actually. He almost missed that one. As Lilkirbs is coming up on to the Sphinx clip, so you can get first try. I don't know if he's gonna go for single or double clip in a race.
Knowing him, he'll do double clip.
Oh, gets it, misses. Misses again. This is time for Mozurkz to catch up.
Oh, he's going for single, never mind.
Clip. Yeah, I
in a race.
Especially after you've already missed twice, it's like, all right, screw it. I'm just gonna, do the safe strat here. I don't want to have to clip into this dumb wall again.
Yeah, double clip doesn't save much time over just doing single, but it saves a lot more time than just doing like the normal route with the quicksand moon. Couldn't think of the name, and then going into the Sphinx room, because you clip into the Sphinx room without getting that moon out of bounds, and you clip again to get that moon out of bounds, and that is faster than just going single clip. Can't talk, jeez. But it is riskier on the bird cycle, because if you miss it a few times, the bird will be in a very bad spot.
Mozurkz also did get third try Sphinx clip, so roughly equal outcomes there for both of our runners. So Lilkirbs is maintaining his lead through the Sphinx section of the run, able to get Jaxi skip and not dying, not fall into the goop.
Best capture.
Cactus. Yeah, just random captures in this game. You can be a cactus, you can be a tree, you can be a rock. It's awesome, man. Play Mario. Mario games are fun.
Alright, no Jaxi deaths. That's good.
Mozurkz needs to get out of the goop, though. He's not safe yet. Ooh, okay. I'm telling you, it's anything can happen. He saved it there, which is great. But like, you're not. He wasn't out of the woods yet. You have to wait until they're completely away from the purple poison, because it is instant death.
Yeah, luckily, if you do any route with Sphinx in it, if you die at all, I mean, obviously, if you're at this level, that's a reset anyway, but in a race or no reset, you'll just spawn back where the Sphinx was, so it doesn't lose as much time. Whereas if you don't do Sphinx, you respawn at the very beginning of sand.
Right. Yeah. The next time, the first time you've loaded the zone would be after leaving the pipe right at the start. So if you die, Jax is you have to go all the way back to town, which really sucks. But yeah, so Lilkirbs still maintaining a lead out of the Sand Kingdom, although it's probably within like 30 seconds ish, I would say. So definitely a recoverable difference from Mozurkz, even at this stage here. It's only been a couple of things that have happened to our runners thus far. Nothing catastrophic yet.
Now, one interesting thing about the Sand Kingdom moon dump cutscene, for some reason, if you haven't beaten Harriet on top of the pyramid, it shows the ship flying away, unlike all the other kingdoms where, like in Wooded, we don't fight Spewart anymore for doing the fastest route. It doesn't show the ship flying away when we put our moons in the Odyssey. Nobody knows why.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. That sand cutscene is a little bit longer than the rest of the cutscenes in the game because reasons, but Nintendo didn't put it into any other kingdom, so I mean, whatever.
Dang, no down throws. I don't think either of these people are using Joy-Cons.
You expect top-level runners, respected runners in the community to be playing on an inferior controller? Come on, man.
Hey man, it's the most optimal version.
It is the most optimal controller. Joy-Cons allow you to throw Cappy downwards while in midair. You can't do that if you're using the Pro Controller, but no one likes Joy-Cons except for Zinpars, but we don't talk about... I mean, granted, he does put the down throws to really good use, but like, I can't do it, man.
Zinpars and Fur are basically the pioneers of Joy-Con strats.
Pretty much.
Especially
yeah.
Fur, like he does some crazy stuff.
Fur also plays with Joy-Cons. What a madman.
Yeah, there is, like, if you really want to be, like, comfortable for your hands and go fast, you can use a hybrid setup, because if you're using a Pro Controller, you can actually turn your Joy-Cons on, and if you move Mario with the Joy-Cons, it just acts like normal. So you can, like, do a down throw after one moon, get a moon, and then use Pro Controller again.
Both of our runners got cheap jump there, really nice. Into the Rango boss fight, which is pretty easy. I know we haven't been talking about Lake Kingdom very much, but this is kind of one of the This and Ruined are the tiny kind of low variation runs in the kingdom, so not a whole lot can happen aside from the cheap jump, but both the runners made it, so you know, it's good.
Interesting third Rango hit from Mozurkz there. He wanted to get some coins, probably just wanting to get rich for the shops later on, but almost missed Rango there, which is why you get the coins immediately after you hit Rango.
Yeah, there is always a little bit of downtime for these brutal boss fights, so, you know, the time that you can spend collecting coins while you can't do anything to the boss is good, but you don't want it to interrupt your, I want to be hitting the boss now time.
Alright, time for Monka S Kingdom. Everybody knows this at this point.
Yep, Wooded, we've seen it happen to some people. Wooded making or breaking some runs. You know, if it goes well, it's pretty Craigasm, and if it goes poorly, it can be really, really disastrous. So we'll sit tight here and wait for the nut tucked away in the tunnel to see what happens. But this could be where everything changes. So keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, Curbs is a significant amount ahead here, but the out-of-bounds stuff, and some of the stuff after that, like the ramp jump, that can really screw you over and give your opponent a big lead. Or you can just be like me and do it somewhat optimally and then just fall in deep woods because you don't fight Spirit in races.
We never want to see deep woods in a race, man. That's one of the things, like, we always joke, like, oh, what if he falls into deep woods? But then when someone actually does, we're like, oh,
that sucks.
Oh, dang it, you know, like...
There technically was a deep woods route for about a day.
Yeah.
Made by I Ate Your Pie, but...
Shoutouts to Pie.
that got shut down. Oh, Curb's getting nut clipped.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Easy for him.
And here's the out-of-bounds movement, making his way to the...
That's it.
He's got the moon. That was a super fast setup, actually.
Now he just needs to get out.
Yep, he's up. Good. So now he just needs to climb the ramp. Easy peasy.
This wooded is crazy. Holy crap.
Why even make a big deal about the wooded route? It's free. God. What do I know? But here's Mozurkz coming up on the very same section. See if he can do it as cleanly as Lilkirbs did. Hopefully not fall too far behind here. Got the setup. Looks like he's also out of bounds. He's got it.
That's it. Not over. Lost the land.
Ooh, okay, alright. He lost a lot of height there. I thought he was going to fall down back inbounds, but he manages to save it. Save it twice.
Top-down view. Scary.
Got it.
Gets hit.
And he is back in bounds. Alright.
Now, one scary thing, after doing all of that out-of-bounds stuff, you still have to make it back inbounds, and after grabbing that moon, you can't just immediately throw your cap and dive, because there's a wall there, and if you bonk on that wall, you'll clip into where that moon was, and you can't get out.
Yeah. So the two insta resets basically are clipping back in bounds into that little area that you can't get out of. You just basically have to warp back to the Odyssey, and actually going too far, clipping through, and it falling straight down out of bounds into the deep woods. Those are the two big punishing things that can happen with a whole out of bounds section. But they both got it really clean, actually. That was super awesome to see. See if Lilkirbs can get Flower Road skip. It's got the spin pound setup, got the roll cancel, got the triple jump. It's good.
Yeah, back in the day, Flower Road skip was not viable for runs because you had to go all the way back to a corner and do a long jump, and it was very stupid. Not even world record runners such as Valu at the time would go for it. But then we found roll cancels, and it became much better.
Yeah, for sure.
Climbing the tower here for Curbs. Pretty easy movement, just climbing up with an uproot.
Yeah, this is a pretty hot wooded for Curbs, actually. And I know he's going to go for the Speedrun skip, jumping down from the top of the tower, collecting the nut around the corner, and then going into the flooded pipeway sub area. So we can check that movement here. This movement up until recently was actually super spooky until we found a really good setup for it. And you actually want to mash the jump button here so you don't get staggered from this fall. Manages to do it. He actually has the BTT section, the best theoretical time section for this right here. And I think that was actually, I think that might have tied BTT or lost like half a second to it. That was insanely fast, that movement from
roll cancel vault off of Cappy was crazy.
Yeah, that's what he does in the BTT segment. It's insanely fast, actually.
If he doesn't gold this, that'll be kind of surprising, honestly.
I mean, yeah.
We can't see his splits, but maybe he'll tell us. Let's see if Mozurkz fights Speedrun. And
yeah, he's going to go for the Speedrun fight. Only a couple of seconds slower than the reroute that Curbs is doing right now. But if you haven't practiced that movement, jumping down from the top of the tower to that nut around the corner, it might not be worth it for you because really slow movement there can kind of kill the time saves that it is. So, you know, I totally fine that Mozurkz is going for this, but Lilkirbs, being the holder of that BTT segment on the sheet, says, I know how to do this, I got it, and just goes for it.
Yeah, for a while, or like a short amount of time, when we found out about that nut clip route, Speedrun was actually out of wooded, or still in wooded for a bit, and Pipeway was actually cut out completely, but then we found the faster way and we brought pipes back in, unfortunately.
Or fortunately, for some of those any percent earners who have put so much time into practicing it, you know, when it was cut from there, it's like, oh, I practiced it so much, now it's gone, and then when it came back in, it's like, all right, I know how to do this, let's go. So
yeah, Curbs now going to the Cloud Bowser fight. Let's see if he goes for the Cloud Boost, which nobody goes for. I don't know why.
No one except for some guy whose name is Odd Me. I don't know, some guy.
113. Insane run. Alright. Fighting Bowser here. Pretty easy fight once you know the advanced strats. You just... Oh, not going for the behind Bowser strats. There is a faster way to do this fight where you actually sneak behind Bowser, like run a little circle around him, and then you just fling him to the opposite side of the stage so that he only jumps one space instead of as far as he did against Curbs.
Yeah, it's just a tiny little manipulation, saves a second, I'm gonna say, over the course of the fight, maybe 2 seconds tops, but it's just one of those things that, you know, it's one of those little things that we've picked up and really do add up over time, and so kind of surprised to not see him do that manipulation here, but you know, maybe that's just a pointer for him. He's like, hey, you know this is easy, right? You know you can do this, right? You're the world record holder. Come on, man. Come on.
Probably just wants to get Cloud out of the way now so that he can
Mozurkz
lost.
Taking the damage, not able to get to Bowser in time to pick up the hat in midair, so has to wait for Bowser to jump again, get that hat slowly second time around. So that right there is actually a time loss as opposed to just not being optimal, which is what we were just criticizing Lilkirbs for. So
yeah, I believe each time you miss a Bowser hit, or maybe it depends on the phase you're in, but every time you miss a Bowser hit, I think you lose about 12 seconds. Maybe that's in the second fight.
Yeah, that's second fight. If you well, I don't want to throw out numbers that are incorrect, but I'm gonna say that was about a 5 to 8 second time loss from Mozurkz potentially.
I was thinking of second fight because that's much more choke heavy.
Yeah.
Now Curbs and Lost, luckily, did get Meme Tree. I caught that, which is one of the harder parts of Lost, because it's right at the start, and it's nerve-wracking, but pretty clean so far.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the scariest part of Lost, aside from Meme Tree, really is the cage triple jump at the very end, because if you somehow bonk on that cage, it has one of the weirdest hitboxes ever. You will most likely die, and even if you do bonk on it, the dude that you send flying at the cage will still break the cage. So you have to get the moon and then immediately jump down to the bridge moon, or else Klepto will be triggered. And as
Yeah.
you saw from Curbs, he actually went up the staircase to make Klepto mad. And because he did that, Cappy will not get stolen when he walks into the barrier.
Lands on the platform, gets the box break, he's in. Now he just needs to get the one more. That's not what he wanted to do.
Whoa.
He was trying to buffer a spin pound there and then roll down to under the bridge, but he didn't actually wait for his inputs there, so he just kind of dove off the edge. So right
An
now,
interesting
the
backup.
Klepto trigger zone is active. He cannot land on top of this bridge or he'll trigger Klepto. He has to get the spoon and die,
Good.
which is even more time loss, unfortunately, but worse would be activating all that cutscene and trying to go get back and get Cappy, so this is the better option.
This does give Mozurkz a bit of leeway to catch up now. If Curbs had touched any ground after getting that bridge moon, he would have been behind. Oh,
Absolutely.
Mozurkz, interesting moon grab.
That camera though, it's all good. He's alive. It's fine. All right, Mozurkz also setting up for cage trip. That's not landing on the tree.
See, that's why you don't do that strat, and you do the one from the back.
Yep, so faster backup at this point is just to go get the stone cage, which Mozurkz is doing. Good backup. But he does now need to get under the bridge from a different angle, and backing up from this angle, most runners aren't used to it, so it can be a little weird, but he gets it. See if he can live. He gets his cat back in time,
Nice.
and he is up there. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Not as big of a time loss as Curbs, but definitely
Yeah.
still hindered his chances of catching up. But it's Metro, so anything
Yeah.
can happen.
And that was actually really good on both these winners. They both had things happen there, but you know, I guess they're practiced enough in messing up that they're used to these backups, so able to get them off without a hitch, which is very nice. Although it's unfortunate that they obviously had some things happen, some mistakes.
Curbs going for Goomba Bounce. Does get... Oh, never mind.
He actually went too far to land on the Goomba, actually. You're too fast, man. You went too far. Oh, man.
There are a lot of mistakes that are made in this game from going too fast compared to going too slow.
Yeah, it's actually a thing. I mean, we've kind of brushed over it since it's one of the older things in the route, but the flooding pipeway in Wooded, if you go too fast, it can actually lose you time overall, so you kind of have to slow down and make sure that you're not, you know, missing the cycle that you want to be hitting there. But that was, I mean, enemy placement is a little bit different because spawns and movement is just kind of random for enemies, so you can't really control that, but he did just completely overshoot the Goomba there, so, you know.
Oh, Mozurkz.
A little
That
bit of
triple
trouble
jump
here.
is interesting because if you slide on that wall, it's very difficult, but this long jump isn't too
Yeah.
much slower.
Yeah, if you lose your speed from the triple jump, you're kind of forced to do the long jump because long jump does set you to a fixed speed.
Oh,
Mozurkz misses the dive just barely. The building pushed him over to the side just a little bit, so he falls all the way down. Has to deal with these little mosquito things. Has to walk up the stairs of shame. Unfortunate.
now if he gets the heliport checkpoint here, he won't lose time. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, taking damage is a little bit unfortunate in this game, both because when you take damage, you can't control Mario for 2-3 seconds-ish. And then when you get moons, they heal you, which is cool, except it takes time to heal you. There's a little animation where it shows you being healed and you can't do anything. So it loses an additional 2.2 seconds, you know? So it's a double whammy taking damage, so always want to avoid that. But the checkpoint did
Wow,
heal
that
him, so
that
if you're
pattern
thinking-
of Curbs was very nice.
That Wiggler was actually insane. Wiggler being one of the big points of randomness in the run. It's random where on the wall it spawns, what pattern it walks in, where the fireballs will shoot. But sometimes you just get the god pattern and are able to destroy it before it even stops. So Yeah, that's super cool to see.
Yeah, even if you get a good pattern on the Wiggler, sometimes the hitboxes can be
Yeah.
interesting, and you'll get a 3-cycle anyway because you can shoot a piece of the Wiggler as many times as you want, but it just won't hit.
Yeah, one of those things. I mean, hitboxes. Am I right? Sometimes
See if
thing.
Mozurkz gets a 3-cycle. Hopefully he does, because getting a 3-cycle. Hopefully he gets a
Excuse you.
2-cycle.
Are
I swear
you
I'm not biased.
are you wishing
Curbs did not
misfortune
pay
upon
me
one of
to-
our runners, sir?
Curbs did not pay me to root for him in this race, I swear. Hopefully he gets a 2-cycle here. And if he does miss it, then he does lose 30 seconds, which is bad.
Curve's just missing the scooter there, but able to get the drive-by as soon as he's actually on the scooter. And that's
Right
exactly
there.
what we're talking about. Hitboxes on the Wiggler. Still gets the 2-cycle, but you could see like he was shooting exactly at those vulnerable segments, and it just wasn't registering the hit for a bit because reasons, right?
So
But he does get it.
So right there from Curbs' screen, the reason he held his cap out there, it was a bit similar to the sand dram strat. After getting that moon, he can warp to that pole, but he had to have his camera on that pole because for some reason Cappy doesn't like to home in on things that are off screen. So if that pole was off screen, he would have to miss that completely and just climb back up to it. Doing
Yes.
early musicians, the second fastest route for Metro by about a second compared to bullet building.
Yeah, that it's general consensus that route currently isn't for RTA runners. I don't know what that was, but we'll just blow right by that. So this is the current fastest route that people are willing to do RTA at the moment. That Lilkirbs is doing. So yeah, let's see if Mozurkz can get the scoop clip here. Actually gets on the scooter as opposed to Curbs, and
Drive-by.
also gets the drive-by. Very nice.
So one interesting thing we didn't touch on, the reason they point their camera to like a bird's eye view at the start of Metro, this is one of the few areas in the game that actually lags because there is so much stuff on screen.
Yeah.
So you want to point your camera down during that spark pylon to reduce as much lag as possible.
Yeah, it's the way the camera works in this game is that if things are on screen, then they're active, and if they're not on screen, then generally they're not active. So you're gonna see Lilkirbs warp to the top of City Hall here. He's gonna get a couple moons and then go climb up to the very top of the skyscraper to get a moon called Dizzying Heights. And Dizzying Heights is atop the skyscraper, so it's off screen. So it's not active until it's on camera. So oftentimes runners will try to climb up there really quickly, and then they'll just dive through the moon because it's not active fast enough. Unless they point their camera again straight down, so the moon is on screen early. That way it's active, and they can actually get it. They can hit its hitbox here. So we'll see if Lilkirbs adjusts his camera here. There it is. It's top down, so you can get this moon on screen before Mario gets to it. That way it's active.
Let's see if he spin pounds off the top. Oh, he did. Wow. He did a spin pound off the top.
Oh my god. Clean.
That was a strat found by Small Ant a while ago, and it's ridiculous because of how small that little piece at the very top is. And if you miss it, you just lose much time because Mario will probably fall down far enough so that you miss the moon on top of the pool.
Yeah, exactly. So, a lot of runners, it's just kind of safer to just cap dive and dive again towards the moon above the pool because, I mean, if you miss this spin pound, you're going to feel like an idiot, you know?
Mozurkz getting his second musician here. Pretty normal guy, not a joke at all. Doesn't say any funny things.
No memes here. Not at all. But that will be it for the Metro Kingdom for Lilkirbs. He will be warping to the Odyssey and heading on to Snow Kingdom. I believe he has enough coins. We'll double check here in just a second.
I'm pretty sure he has enough.
Yeah.
Even with the 2 deaths in Lost.
Yeah, I mean, so you need
Oh,
100. Ooh, that bonk is really gonna hurt. It falls all the way down.
He didn't have to warp.
Warp back. He actually could have turned around and taken the spark pylon to just climb back up, but instead warps, losing about a couple seconds. Really unfortunate bonk there, falling all the way down. But yeah, so as we were saying, you need 100 coins to purchase in Snow. Even if you're a couple of coins short, there is a 10-coin box back up in Shiveria. You collect some coins on your way in the Poison Room and in the Goomba Room. So it's not a huge deal if you're a little bit short, but going to snow with like 40 coins, you're gonna panic.
Yeah, if you have that many coins, you want to go to Seaside first because there's a moon in Seaside that gives you like 38 coins or something, so it's really efficient for snow.
Yeah, and Curbs actually has more than enough coins. He can die twice and still be fine. Not that he's going to, but
Don't know how he had that many after 2 deaths and loss, but okay. Must
He's
have
a
gotten
legend.
like 200 in Sphinx or something.
He's the legend.
Oh, Mozurkz taking a bit of a dine at the cafe.
He just wanted to talk to the people, be a little social. As he just kind of bumps past all these people. I don't think Mario said excuse me once there. That was so rude. Man.
Alright. Curbs getting... You saw him get Captain Toad, and you might think, wow, that's the only moon you get outside of snow, right? Oh, gets first capture, by the way. This is not pre-recorded.
Runners remembered.
Came up with some ridiculous scheme.
Yep, so that's the very first capture, the entrance to Shiveria Moon. The next 2 will be in Seaside. Just keeping tabs here.
Yeah, that Captain Toad moon, for a while that was the only moon we got outside of Shiveria, but not anymore because of a certain moon at the end. And it doesn't get that moon clip. He was setting up for it, as you could tell, he was super close to that wall there. And if you get that, you can get to that poison room that he's in just a little bit quicker. And it's also used in longer categories to get to the bound bowl area a bit faster.
Yeah. Misses the ground pound, has to turn around and go back, so... This is like a whole 2 seconds there. How could you do this?
Yeah, Snowdram is what everybody calls like the choke area for snow, but this poison room isn't anything to be slept on. It's one of the hardest movement parts of the entire game.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just because you have to make the platform cycle. You have to have good movement and avoid hitting the spinies. You need to avoid falling off the platforms because it's instant death if you hit the poison. It's just a whole lot of things that you need to think about as you try to go as fast as possible.
Mozurkz kind of struggling with the Captain Toad climb, but not anything too big. And Curbs entering the Goomba room. And if he misses any one of these Goombas where they like decide to kill themselves or something, they'll be gone forever, so he does have to die.
Yeah.
That Goomba went off screen. Okay.
It's fine. He actually... That Goomba could have walked off, but he didn't, so it's fine. Curbs...
I have seen bad things happen to that Goomba, where if he's off screen, he'll just be gone.
Curbs getting the optimal bonk into the wall there to get the moon. Very cool. Very swag.
Yeah, there are some bonks that are actually useful, like a certain bonk in luncheon off of a pot to get a moon, and that one.
Mozurkz also getting his screen capture for his entrance to Shiveria Moon.
Now Curb's going to the hardest part of snow, the shop. Everybody hates this part. You have to have optimal menuing and heart skip first try.
You can actually stand like near the entrance to the shop though and just shout at the shopkeeper. Most of the shopkeepers, you have to go like right up to them to talk to them, so we can just shout at this guy. But he gets the heart skip, purchases the moon. So now all he has to do is Snowdram, warp to the Odyssey, and make a hard jump.
Fun fact about that shop, that did actually cost Lilkirbs a record at one point. He was 2 seconds off because of that shop. He talked to the purple guy instead of the yellow guy.
Oh my god. That's incredibly unfortunate. But here's the setup from Lilkirbs, gets the vault, rainbow spin, and he bombed.
no, he missed.
Oh my goodness. That was just short. That was really, really close to making it, actually. I thought that was in the bag.
Curbs has actually missed Snowdram before and PB'd, so this is nothing special for him, really.
Okay, that vector actually looked a little bit better. Yeah,
Yes,
there we
gets
go.
it. If he missed that again, that might have given Mozurkz like only like 20 seconds behind, maybe.
Yeah. Failing Snowdram is incredibly punishing because there is no backup, really. You just have to try again.
Yeah, if you commit to Snowdram, you have to do it. Like, there's no backups at all.
Yeah, and
unless you want to go all the way into Shiveria and get the Rango Moon.
Yeah, no, and because like you said earlier, that moon by the snow painting and Captain Toad are the only 2 moons that you can get right then outside of Shiveria. If you decide, you know what, screw it, I don't want this to do Snowdram, I don't do the snow painting jump, you just have to go back into town and get a different moon, which is super slow. Slower than probably just trying to do
Mozurkz
Snowdram
cutting
again.
it super close on that triple jump there. That's scary. And Curbs entering Seaside, which is a kingdom that I personally think is slept on a lot, because I've seen people lose runs to this kingdom before.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's technically not a ton going on here movement-wise, but there is just enough that if you say, you know, whatever, it's Seaside, it'll bite you in the butt for sure. Because, you know, there's this movement here at the beginning to get up onto that cliff. After this, we go and do the Rocket Flower, or we could get this Ground Pound Moon, we get the Gushin Area Moon, which is the next screen capture, actually, right after this moon. Lilkirbs is going to get Ride the Jet Stream. And then there's a Rocket Flower, and we basically swim as a cheap cheap for the whole rest of the kingdom. So, you know, once you get to the, I'm in a cheap cheap, it's fine. But really, there's movement there. So there's a screen capture from Lilkirbs, as Mozurkz is now setting up for Snowdram. And that vector looked pretty okay.
He gets the ball.
Gets the dive vault on top of it. What? he must have cleanly cleared that cliff there. Oh my gosh.
And Curves not going for the Rocket Flower storage. I'm kind of surprised. If you do a spin throw in the ground pound and then jump out of the water, you will actually keep that Rocket Flower. And then if you do it again and grab the moon, you'll keep it again. And you can just grab another one. And the strat that most people do there doesn't save even a second, but there is a faster strat, but it's like frame perfect.
It's probably frame perfect. We've definitely narrowed it down. It's, you know, there's a two frame window that we know of, but we don't have frame analysis, like exact frame analysis, so we can't exactly say. But probably frame perfect is the best we can say right now. It is insane if you see it.
And this is the moon I was talking about in Metro. If you opt to go to Seaside first because you're afraid of your coin count, just get that moon and you'll have enough coins for
tons
snow.
of coins. There is Under a Dangerous Ceiling.
Gets
3
all
out of 3 captures for Lilkirbs. He is good to go on screenshots there.
Mozurkz doing the first Seaside moon here.
Yeah, he was a little far away from the edge of that little cliff there, so we did have to cap stall for a little bit more air time. Not a huge deal, obviously, but little things like that that start to notice. And so Mozurkz will be coming up on Ride the Jet Stream, his second screen capture. As
no fish bonks from Curbs. Nice.
None. Clean. Yep, he's finished with Seaside now.
Now he's going into one of, like, this upcoming kingdom and Bowser's Kingdom are probably the parts where most people choke in late game.
There's Mozurk's second
capture.
Ooh, a little too close to the wall there. The wall does kind of curve, so he did hit
bonking again.
He gets 2 bonks trying to leave the Gushin area, unfortunately. And that's exactly what we're talking about, you know. Once you say, hey, moving in Seaside, I'll be fine, is when it really comes after you.
Doesn't do Rocket Flower storage.
Yeah.
Missing the moon.
It's fine. It's not anything we haven't seen before. You do jump from the water with just tons and tons of speed from the Rocket Flower, so having an angle slightly off will just send you just shooting past that
get the
moon.
checkpoint.
Nope.
Oh, I didn't get the checkpoint.
So he is going to heal, actually, from this next moon here. We'll lose even more time, unfortunately.
Yeah, luckily, taking damage as soon as you capture something, it still loses you about 2 seconds. Curbs getting the backup capture.
Just gets the backup capture just showing that he can. He knows it's there.
But yeah, taking damage as you capture something, it doesn't lose you as much time, but you still do lose time from the healing animation, but you take damage as you capture it, so you don't have to wait for Mario to move again.
Mozurkz gets his 3rd capture under the Dangerous Ceiling, and Lilkirbs just showing us what first-person Spewer looks like. Just getting real close and personal with Spewer there. It was a very clean boss fight, nonetheless. And Mozurkz just needs to get Gap in the Ocean Trench and then warp back to the Odyssey.
No bonks, come on.
No bonks. Oh my goodness. He's a
Yeah,
legend.
fish bonks don't lose as much time as regular ones, but in my opinion, they annoy you a lot more because the
Yeah.
fish just sits there for like half a second. And you're like, why?
Yeah. And part of it too is that, you know, the fish moves normally so fast in the water, you're used to going so fast, so when you come to a complete stop, even if it's only for, you know, half a second, 3/4 of a second, you're like, go! You know, it's
Move.
really, really frustrating. That
Alright,
was
Curbs,
clean
not
movement
bonking
from Little
on that run,
Curbs.
that's good.
Corner of the Magma Swamp.
Missing that capture from afar,
Yeah,
but
just a little bit too far for that homing Cappy throw there. So has to dive again, unfortunately. But I mean, those are the mistakes that we noticed for Little Curves, because he's that good.
now the plaza, it looks kind of big, but we only get like 3 moons here. It's
Yeah.
like not that special because we actually did used to get the slots moon here, but that's slow, so we don't get that anymore.
Yeah. We have since learned from our mistakes, and we actually know how to route this game now.
Oh, no bonk, dang.
No. Disappointed. Mozurkz not getting the swag backup screen capture because he's like, I'm good. I have all the captures I need.
I don't know, man. We might have to look into this run here.
It might be cheating. I don't know. He's good to go. Little Curb is doing a little bit of camera manipulation here to spawn this lava bubble a little bit later so that he can, you know, kind of take his time, set out for that ground pound on the island of Salt, capture this lava bubble as soon as it spawns.
Okay.
Yeah,
Long jumps out,
just jumps because he's nothing else to do with that half a second, I guess. You know, whatever.
entering Fork's most PogChamp room in the entire game, even though it relies on motion controls. As you can tell,
speaking
as you
of
can
motion
clearly
controls.
tell.
Motion controls never mess up, man. What are you talking about? Yeah, you do have to shake the controller upwards to throw Cappy directly above you, and then shake again to home it in onto the fork to warp Mario to the fork. So if you mess up either the up throw or the shake again to home, you just won't get optimal movement there, which is always fun when that happens to you. By the way, just feels great, feels amazing.
Turn
but
up. Oh,
okay. He wanted to die, but he actually dropped his input there, just kind of ground pounded into the Pepto-Bismol. It happens. So he's gonna
okay.
heal
He's not even getting golden turn up for the clip. I'm sorely disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
And Mozurkz is now entering the plaza himself as Curbs is setting up for the turnip clip.
Yeah, decides he didn't like that turnip position, gonna give it a little fixer-upper there.
Puts it in the middle instead of the left. Never seen somebody put it that far middle.
It works,
gets it, though.
so, you know, I can't complain. And Mozurkz here gonna go for the triple jump into, is this an ingredient?
Or not.
Not a triple jump. Yeah,
If you get a bad roll angle on that, you have to do
Yeah.
a very awkward backup strat, which is what he just did.
Yeah, because, you know, the alley there is a straight alley, you know, it's a straight wall to wall, and we're coming at it from a weird angle. If you kind of botch your setup, there's just no hope. You just have to kind of wing it, which really sucks, but he's able to get the moon eventually. He
Oh, he
goes for the
bonks.
bonk. He's got the bonk. Does he have the moon?
Yes.
Dude, I love the swag. I love it.
Curbs getting this is probably one of the scariest strats of launch in. Gets it. Okay, good.
Yeah, he's
That
letting the
little triangle,
little
that you
triangle
can
there.
bounce off of is terrifying. If you miss that, you have to do a really weird backup to get back up.
Yeah, it can be really, really punishing too if you either don't know or mess up the really weird backup. You're in a sea of Pepto and you die and you're sad. So,
Does get the multi-moon without dying in the pot. Nobody's ever done that before.
no one's done that before. What are you talking about? Yeah, let's see how motion controls treat Mozurkz here. It's good so far, so good. Except for that right there. I always, you gotta say, why do I just curse every runner, man.
Yeah,
So
luckily
aside
that
from that-
arrow thing that points Cappy in its direction was right under him, so not too big of a deal.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So Little Curbs gonna be leaving luncheon with around a time of what is this, 43 fade out, which is super good, obviously.
Now entering the hardest kingdom in the run. This is very difficult. If you it's the most punishing one if you die, technically.
Why you gotta be a memer, man? I mean, it is the most punishing if you die, but no one dies here unless your name is Timpani, so.
Or me.
Or
106 pace. Alright, auto scroller as Mozurkz gets turnip clip.
very nice. First try. Awesome to see. Yeah, so we do like to meme on Rune Kingdom a little bit just because the boss is the boss equivalent of an auto scroller. You can't do anything until like one window where you can hit him. And so we damage boost so that we're in the correct position when that window of being able to do stuff actually occurs. But for the most part, we're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs, waiting to actually be able to do anything for this boss. So, you know, GDQ, this is when we read donations.
Now, unfortunately, since both of them are on 1.0, we don't get to see our good friend 8-Bit Captain Toad during this fight.
Yeah, there is a coin hint art. On the most recent patch of the game, Nintendo's been releasing little hint arts on their Twitter where they'll show you a hint to a spot. You go to that spot in the game, you ground pound it, and either Luigi or Captain Toad or some 8-bit version of a character shows up, and you get 200 coins as a result. Very useful in All Unique Moons and 100% because you need those coins. You want to avoid coin grinding as much as possible. So free 200 coins every time they release new hint art. Super useful, and this one actually doesn't lose any time because it's in the auto-scrolling phase. You can just go and get it. No big deal. Mozurkz also avoiding death.
Doesn't die. As Curbs starts his last hit on the dragon here. Will he go for the Equan risky, don't ever do this in a race strats? Let's see. Taking damage already.
Oh my god, no, please. So, alright, he has to damage boost again. He'll be on 1 health. If any of the little fuzzy things pop out and hit him, it's over.
This is actually the longest period of time the dragon is purple, so you can actually take damage twice there.
I just need to like take a second and breathe after that. Like, jeez. Way to mess with my heart, Lilkirbs. God.
If he died, this would have probably been like one of the closest races.
It would have been a lot closer race actually. It would have been, you know, probably within 20 seconds of each other or so at that point. At which point, you know, Bowser's the equalizer. But Lilkirbs avoids death, maintains his approximately Ruined Kingdom lead, 3-minute lead over Mozurkz here.
As Mozurkz enters Hard Kingdom, Lilkirbs is actually going into a Hard Kingdom, which is Bowser's.
Yeah, Bowser's is kind of the stop-and-go kingdom of the run, so to speak. You're kind of going back and forth between movement and platforming and trying to maneuver your way through the kingdom, and then boss fights. And so it's kind of touch and go, trying to get in the right mentality and mindset for trying to be able to do everything the best, even though they're so very different. So being consistent throughout Bowser's is really difficult for a lot of runners. You see a lot of wildly varying times in Bowser's Kingdom as a result. So this is always an opportunity for one runner to catch up if there might be a huge lead or something happening in a race. You know, just saying, it can happen. So we'll see what happens here with Lilkirbs.
And despite Bowser's Kingdom only needing 8 moons to progress, like you'd think that's not much. It isn't much, but you have to get every story moon and beat the boss to get to moon. But luckily that boss that we fight is one of the best boss fights in any speedrun. One of the coolest looking things ever, the Mecha Brutal.
Yeah. The Robo Brood, yeah.
Hopefully I don't jinx Curbs and he doesn't fall off when going for target acquired, which is what you wanted from the start.
He did say in his pre-race interview that his one goal for this race, the only thing he's going for is target acquired, which is a very specific way of getting the final spin pound on the final Brutal in the Robo Brood fight. After doing Harriet third, you do Speedrun last, and you land directly on top of the glass cockpit, do an instant spin pound to immediately kill it before the Robo Brood starts rotating at all. So that's his goal for this entire run. That's all he wants to do. So, you know, in a couple of minutes we'll be able to comment on that and see how he does. But for now some moon shards.
Yeah, aside from the boss fight, moon shards is probably the hardest part of Bowser's, I'd like to say.
And
falling down.
Yep. So has to do the triple jump back up here, gets this moon shard. I think he lost some height there. Oh,
Got
just barely able to get that jump up to the roof, gets his 4th moon shard, capture this Tokyo here to capture the 5th moon shard for smart bombing. Yeah.
Yeah, fastest, that triple jump that he did as a backup, that was actually the fastest way to do the shards for a while until he found out about the dive back strat, which you saw him do there with a long jump. You can do it with a triple jump, but it's a lot more precise.
Yeah, so just to clarify for some of those asking in chat, the Robo Brood is comprised of a giant mech with 4 glass cockpits around it, each containing a different Broodal that normally you see throughout the run, although in any percent, we kind of skip some of them. So there's Topper, Rango, Harriet, and Spewart. Normally, Harriet's on top. You do all the ones around the side and then do Harriet in the middle last. And that's been the strat for a long time, but it's been discovered that if you use a spin pound on all the ones on the outside, it's actually faster. So you do spin pounds on the outside too, and then do Harriet in the middle third, and then do a spin pound on Spewart right at the end. And if you do target acquired, it saves around 1.5 seconds-ish over the old strat where you do Harriet last. Really, really hard to do, but that time save is too juicy for these top level runners.
And speaking of Harriet, I wonder if we'll see a Furriet. Probably not.
Probably not. Furriet is so another top level runner has some setup for this Harriet fight here that Curbs is doing, where he goes into first person mode and puts his cap in a position that makes sense to him. No one else understands his setup, but he does. Reduces the amount of time that those bombs are in midair by a little bit. He's given explanations to the community, but no one really understands it except for him for now. So whatever.
I believe Nicro has implemented it into his runs like a while ago. Press F for his internet feels bad. But yeah, I think Nicro is starting to put it in his runs once he gets back to that. But at the moment, Fur is the only active person doing it.
Yeah, for sure. Very clean mini boss fights there from Lilkirbs.
Topper first is better, FYI.
Realistically, it doesn't matter, but it's a little meme, a little in joke in the community, like I do Harriet first, I do Topper first. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, but it's a meme. For one, I do Harriet first because it's obviously the only choice you can make. I mean, it's what the world record holder does. Like,
hey, you know what, bud?
The world record holder does.
Listen here, bub.
And Mozurkz actually
not falling off on shards, which is good.
Succeeding where Lilkirbs failed. Able to get the final moon shard there, really nice.
And Curbs is now starting the hardest movement part of Bowser's, which is the climb, where you get, especially if you get this moon here, neither of them went for the technically more optimal moon in Bowser's, where you do a Pokio Dram, I guess, at the very start with another moon. If you get that moon instead of this one, your camera won't be locked because of that pipe. So you won't have to do some scary flying dives. Will he get the corner? He does. Wow.
Got the little poke onto the corner. Yeah, really optimal moon here from
Mozurkz
actually. Ooh, and Mozurkz, yeah. Unfortunately, taking the death there. That section is actually one of despite how tiny that little section is, going from that story moon, smart bombing, to the moon on the roof is one of the tiny sections that trips up runners the most, just for random reasons, bonking on this roof, taking a fall.
See, every time, I'm pretty sure the reason he died there was because he did a backflip, and Cappy did not go in the direction he wanted to, which we've seen certain people lose record pace runs for that exact backflip, which is why we do a spin pound.
Hello, Valu. But really nice spin pound there in the first 2 Brutals for Lilkirbs, and he is gonna set up here. Meme some with the first-person camera first, and then get Harriet on top here third, and then try to acquire the target on Spewart on the side fourth. Mozurkz just doing the mini boss fight with Harriet right now. So both the runners are killing Harriet for now.
Alright, come on. Target acquired.
Target has been acquired. Lilkirbs achieves his goal for the run, gets the time save. That was hot, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know how much time that saves over doing Harriet last, but it's not much at all, and it's really not worth it until you get to the top 5 or 101.
Yeah, it's about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds ish maybe. and it's really risky. Obviously, if you miss any part of that target acquired, like if your inputs are a little slow, the mech starts rotating while you spin pound, and so you miss the cockpit. You just ground pound straight down, land on the arena, and you're donezo. That's one of the high risk, relatively low reward until you get to the top level, and you just want the time save.
Yeah, before target acquired was faster, we did a different strat. Like, if you did Harriet third in the first place, there was a different strat for Spewart where you would spin pound, like, essentially do the same thing as target acquired, except
Nice
you'd land on the platform next to him and just spin pound him.
Yeah, with a little bit slower inputs, if you go on that platform, then the boss can rotate a little bit, and you won't have acquired the target, but you will still get the almost insta spin pound, which is still time save. But then we discovered target acquired, and everything changed.
Nice little spin throw from Mozurkz.
Yeah.
Show off some amazing features of spin pound, because you can like press Y like a frame before you touch the ground. Cappy will just do a little spin throw there just to annoy you.
Yeah.
Entering the lock camera.
One of the tiniest little optimizations that we found in this run, because rolling is the fastest form of movement. Rolling out of a ground pound, you can do it pretty quickly, but spin pounding eliminates the ground pound animation, and so there's a little bit of time save every time you want to initiate a roll from a ground pound. You can just do a spin pound instead. But because inputs are amazing and always work, trying to go too fast can actually, again, in this game, trying to go too fast can really hinder you, actually.
Very nice Pokio climb from Mozurkz there.
Let's see the vectors here from Lilkirbs. He wants to get this triple jump angle just right to get all the way over this gap. And he actually is going for the double triple.
I thought this was slower.
This is slightly slower, but he wants the swag.
Alright, Mozurkz, come on. Oh, Mozurkz falling.
Yeah, it's alright. Falling right at
Pokio.
taking damage.
Killing the Pokio doesn't want to do that disrespect. Alright.
He's on top of the little nut there.
Get up.
Nice. Well, Curbs gets the moon
Curbs
cage.
just saved like 5 minutes. That's a frame perfect trick, by the way.
Oh my god. Thank you, Monkey King Hero.
That is frame perfect.
Oh my god.
Never forget.
Oh man. Yeah, that was what Monkey King Hero said in the OG world record.
Mozurkz not going for Harriet third. Does acquire the Spirit target though.
Nice. Yeah, that ground pound, just walking off the edge and ground pounding there can be a little bit janky because before the Robo Brood starts turning, it does kind of shake and vibrate a little bit. So sometimes you'll be at the wrong part of the shake, and so it'll be tilted this way. You'll just ground pound and land on top because it's under you at that point, as opposed to being the other way where you ground pound and hit the glass cockpit. So there are all kinds of janky things that can happen in this fight, but it's good to see him actually get that ground pound. He gets back on top, gets Harriet fourth pretty quickly actually. So really clean boss fight after he managed to get on top. A little bit of struggles right at the beginning, but manages to make up for it at the end.
I guess Curbs in the final boss as well, but it's a clone of the Cloud fight. It's really, like, it's scary if you miss a hat, but it's essentially the exact same thing, aside from this little move here.
I mean,
you can BM Bowser a little bit by going into first person, but...
Yeah, other than that flame spitting section where you just kind of, again, twiddle your thumbs. And more hats, obviously, big difference.
Oh, missed.
Right as I say, it's the same fight, you know. Struggles happening for Lilkirbs. Missing
Not damage boosting anymore.
Yeah, so decides not to go for that setup, just playing it safe, doing the old strat.
Now, there is actually a different version of this fight if you get all 80 unique moons, and it's actually the ending to the all unique moons run. And it's the exact same fight, except Bowser spins his tail so many more times, and that makes it at least 5 times harder.
Yeah, if you were to map out in that fight just now, the pattern of tail swipes per phase would be 1, 2, and 3, 1. And that's the pattern of the fight just now. In all unique moons, it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3.
It's so annoying. You want it to be done, and then after that, like, totally different fight, the escape is the exact same.
Yeah, everything after the fight is exactly the same, but there's just the, all right, I need to sit here and jump over your tail a lot. Okay, trying to do the fight.
But I mean, the escape is nothing to be slept on because he got 2D skip coming in and XD skip if he goes for it.
I think we'll see an XD skip. Let's see. So here's 2D skip, gets it really clean, and setting up. He breaks the blocks, decides that XD skip is not worth.
Mozurkz, I bonk on moon, smiley face.
I bonk on moon. Yeah, that's a meme a meme as old as time itself. Suisaiga, another one of our top world record contenders, got a number 2 or number 3 run at the time. Missing world record by 15 seconds. Not a handful of seconds really. And the description for his PB submission was "I bonk on moon," smiley face. So.
All right, Mozurkz getting that frame perfect trick as well, saving 5 minutes. As Curbs enters the escape, I don't think he got Nicro level pillars there, but
no, he actually passed a little bit more towards that first pillar because he really wanted to kill it early. So he did kill it early, but not optimal, unoptimal.
I believe Nicro still has the best pillars in this part. It's just insane, but Curbs coming up on the end. Very, very good run, 102. Jeez, this man is crazy, but expect nothing less from the record holder.
Yep, it is going to be a mid 102 from Lilkirbs, playing just outside of a minute of his PB, the world record.
102.30.
102.30. So insane run from Lilkirbs in a race setting. GG. He'll be advancing to the next round, as Mozurkz now is just in the Bowser fight, going to be closing out his run momentarily.
Probably going to be a very low 105 from Mozurkz here because the escape is about 2 minutes.
Oh, he does actually have one additional Bowser phase, so probably. Mid 103 or mid 105. Excuse me, 107 or 106.
This man is about to do the escape in like 30 seconds.
Mid 103. Let's go.
Well, yeah, both of these players, give them a follow, especially Curbs, obviously, record holder, but Mozurkz improving very quick. 104.16 and still much more to come. Mozurkz
has been climbing up the ranks actually at an alarming rate. He's one of the fastest improving runners at the moment, and he's from the sounds of it, he's gonna keep going until he hits that wall that he's not hit yet. So keep an eye out for him. He's gonna be hot contender in no time flat. Quote me on that. So
let's see if Curbs gets the PB moon, even though he didn't PB.
Yeah, it's probably looking like a high 105 to low 106 for Mozurkz at the moment, which is like 2.5 minutes worse than his PB.
Oh yeah, the next
next
round is like Curbs' next round is gonna be against Equan.
Yep.
That's gonna because as you saw from Equan's last race against Fur, that was scary. A scary close.
Yeah, definitely.
Equan is like insane at this game. Has a like 102.01, and he for a while he had a mid 104 maybe, and then I think he PB'd by like a minute.
Yeah, I do want to comment that the round after this is quarterfinals. Lilkirbs has advanced to quarterfinals. It'll be a quarterfinal race against Equanimity, Equan.
Equanimity Super Mario Bros.
Equanimity SMB 7413. Lilkirbs just doing some all unique moon stuff here. It's fine. Just getting able to see a little bit more of the game.
Fight Cockatiel, please.
Do the Cookie Steal refight. No, he wants the Goomba jump. Mozurkz entering the final room, the escape room. Anime music.
Sour, please. Let's see if he gets early pillar. Looks like
Ooh, it must have missed just one fireball there, I think. He might be able to go for the snipe if he's keen on it.
Oh, what is that camera?
He's looking at the pillar. He wants to see, did I get it? How many more fireballs is it? He sees that it's one, I think, is what we saw amongst the debris there. So he could go for the snipe here. No, he's gonna kill this pillar and then turn to go for the last one. A lot of runners will try to snipe that first pillar as they're doing the last one, but Mozurkz just whatever. I'm just gonna
Curb
shoot
is
the
very,
floor.
very sexy camera angle right there.
Memes are strong with this one. That's all I'll say.
Mozurkz actually 106. I didn't expect that, but still a pretty good time.
Yeah, just about
Especially
2
for
minutes.
him, less than like 2 minutes off PB or something.
Just about 2 minutes off of PB.
106.04.
Yep, we are joined now by Mozurkz.
Hello.
GG on the run there.
Yeah. Lilkirbs finished with 102.30.
Yep,
Is that what I'm seeing? Awesome.
that is correct. If I'm not mistaken, that is better than your SOB. Is that right?
That is better than my SOB.
That's
by-
better than my SOB.
Yeah.
By like 30. Oh wait, not by that much though. 102.
Yeah.
It's by 9 seconds. It's better than my
9.
SOB.
Better than SOB by 9 seconds. Yeah. So I mean, really, really insane run from Curbs for a race
Damn,
setting.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we now have Lilkirbs with us. Welcome, Lilkirbs. GG. Congrats on your victory.
Thank you. GG to
You-
Mozurkz.
Thank you.
You acquired the only goal you told us you had for the run, which is target acquired.
I
GG.
That was my high point of the round.
Yeah, that was pretty hot.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, Lilkirbs, we have nothing to say to you. You got your goal. Moving on, Mozurkz.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did
Well,
not
go
get
ahead.
my goal.
Yeah, you want to talk us through what happened there? What your thought process
It was
was?
just
throughout
a
the run?
shaky run from start to finish. I managed to like barely sort of hold it together up through wooded, and then everything after that was just straight awful. And it wasn't like any super major stuff, just constant mistakes. Small things added up in a big way.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now-
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Now, Curbs, I need to talk to you about your wooded.
Okay.
That was some BTT stuff that was just out of this world.
It was.
How did you do that? Like, that's
in my
crazy.
standards, actually, that was pretty bad. But
what?
I was
was like,
like
how did
8
this man
seconds
not
off my goal
gold?
or something. It wasn't that good, but I do some nifty stuff there. I'm like 5
That-
seconds off BTT or so.
Yeah, that roll cancel vault was one of the craziest things I've seen.
Oh yeah, that's a little strat I found.
Just a little strat.
Just a little BTT strat.
Yeah.
Pulls out RTA. All right, whatever.
Yeah. I'm glad both of you got nut clipped though, because Mozurkz, you said like you were having some trouble keeping it together, but it's glad that you got.
Yeah, I was really glad I got nut clipped too. I feel
yeah.
all right. If I had messed up really big early on, I think I would have felt a lot worse. I didn't even realize. I thought I didn't get it, and then I ended up having to like,
Oh, really?
yeah. So like I wasn't expecting the hat to go through the wall, so I ended up having like doing a
Gotcha.
really delayed dive for that, and it was pretty messy. But
Yeah, I mean, we saw both of you guys have some kind of shakiness early on, missing sync slip a couple of times, having some things happen and lost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
So,
forgot about that.
Hey, at least you didn't fall in the deep woods. That's
Yes.
all you can hope.
That's the main thing.
that is the main thing, indeed.
But now I know where moons are there, so I can back it up.
Yeah, that
true.
AUM experience from like one run really helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even given all the stuff that we saw happen in this run, honestly, a really, really great couple of times coming out from you guys. It's all awesome to see races like these where, and especially for those tuning in who maybe haven't run this game and want to get into it, like, yeah, you can mess up a lot, make pretty heavy mistakes and still get a really good time in this game. It's all just about continuous improvement. And, I was talking up earlier, Mozurkz, you one of the fastest proving runners on the board right now. You're going to shoot up there and you're going to be one of the top contenders in no time at all. So, always great to see stuff like that. I don't know if you guys want to comment on anything else, but that's just about all I have to say. It was honestly a delight to watch. Thank you for joining us, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, and GG Curbs.
Yeah.
you fucking
GG
killed
as
it.
well.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, GG. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We do still have more Mario Odyssey races in this round to do. Gonna be closing it out just today and tomorrow, basically the next couple days, if we can close it out. More to
Curbs
come.
versus Equine round 3.
Uh-oh.
More SM64 to come later on. But for now, we're going to be hosting Sunshine Community, where they're doing some Super Mario Sunshine races. So head on over there, get hype. And again, thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to follow the runners, because these guys are heckin' fast boys. Thank you all.
Heckin' fast.
Heck yeah.
Follow me on Twitter.
See ya.